Hi guys, it's Chris from the Stellify team here. Today I wanted to just speak to you a few minutes about prioritization techniques. In particular, one of my favorites, one called weighted shortest job first. I'm sure you've all worked in a team when prioritization has worked well, where you've created that sense of calm because the choices that you've made have been the right one. The team knows what they're working on and why it matters, and everybody's pulling in the same direction, creating that energy. And on top of all of that, your stakeholders can see the progress and everybody's working in a trustful manner. That's when it works well. But if you've been unfortunate enough to work in an environment where prioritization decisions haven't been made well, everything feels urgent. And you could experience symptoms such as backlog of work that's continuing to grow faster than we can deliver, with competing voices, each arguing with each other as to which we should be doing and why. And decisions simply don't stick, and that sense of working on the wrong thing just spreads across everybody, leading to frustration for all. The good news is there are many ways to prioritize, and weighted shortest job first, or WSJF, is often used for its objectivity, its transparency, and its ability to be repeatable. It helps to decide what to do next by comparing cost of delay to job size. Cost of delay is this idea that we can break down value, not just from a value lens to the user or the business, but we can look at it through a number of different lenses. First of all, the user and business value, but also the time criticality of the work. How important is it to have it finished by a particular date? But also, what value does the work bring if we were to perhaps deliver it and reduce risk, or perhaps the work we do enables future opportunities? By dividing the cost of delay by the size of the job, we end up with our WSJF score. The higher the WSJF score, the sooner we should do it. Let's look at an example. On this slide, we're looking at two features and we're using WSJF to prioritize them, using a technique called relative estimation using the Fibonacci sequence. And this is something that you'll be familiar with if you've ever been involved in sizing stories using story points. So how it works is that we look at each one of these dimensions. First of all, business user value, time criticality, risk reduction, opportunity enablement, to understand and to relatively estimate, using the Fibonacci sequence, each of those independent value lenses. We then add up those scores to give us our overall cost of delay. Finally, we use the job size to capture, again using the Fibonacci sequence, using relative estimation, the complexity and effort and any dependencies required to complete the work. And then by dividing, we end up with our WSJF score. And in our example, we can see that because feature A has not only a higher cost of delay, but also has a smaller job size, it has a higher WSJF score. So we're not only going to deliver more value, we're going to deliver it sooner. And that's the whole premise of WSJF prioritization. One thing before I move on, remember always that the value is in the discussion. It's not just in the number you select for each dimension. Getting everybody's different views, getting their insight such that you can get alignment is critical for buy-in and to ensure that we have a good prioritization decision. And if also your job size is too big, remember about the splitting techniques we've talked to in previous episodes. Key takeaways then. WSJF helps teams make objective, repeatable prioritization decisions using a Fibonacci sequence and using this sense of cost of delay. With a high WSJF score, meaning it's high value for the effort, whereas low WSJF score should be deferred, split, or we should think again. Keeping our focus on the right things at the right time is absolutely essential for good agility. Good luck with your future prioritization decisions.